Hey guys, welcome to the Farmyard Engineers. Today is going to be part 2 of our dump trailer build, so stay tuned. Well, we got it up here to the shop. In case you missed the first part of this series, these rails are going to support the majority of the weight, and then I will have two 2x3s welded together in the center to help support the weight. Then I'm going to use this same material to run across the front and back. I'm going to reinforce these hinges all the way around. And then to lift this, there will be no hydraulics. We'll have a mast right here with a winch that will pick up the trailer. All right, hope you guys can hear me. This big tube is going to make up my mast and the front and back of my dump box. So we'll bring this up to the shop and start cutting it up. I'm pretty sure this used to be an old corn planter. So it had all of these, like the axle stubs and all of these U-bolts, like these were the 3-point attachments. So I just went ahead and took a grinder, cut all that off, and now I'm gonna mark it to length and cut it so I can use it. So not even 30 seconds ago, I was talking about those 3-point hookups. I didn't even realize that they would fit perfectly in here to reinforce the back of this by the hinges. So I think we're gonna reuse that. Alrighty, these are the front and back pieces. So now we're gonna take those inside with the skid steer and get them ready to weld on. Good afternoon, guys. We're back for day 2. Right now I'm just making sure everything's all square, and because we cut the ends of these big pipes last time with torch and the ends are kind of jagged, I'm pulling the pipe up against where it needs to go and then I'll tack it in place. I'm so glad that I cut this with a grinder this time, because even though it takes like 15 minutes per cut, it definitely ends up with quite a bit better straight line. So I'll talk to you guys in a minute. All right, guys, we're at a point now where I can start welding these up. So I'll show you guys that process. we got this thing welded into one piece. I still need to do all my verticals, but now that it's in one piece, I say we grab the skid steer and lift it up and see how it looks. And just in case something goes terribly wrong, you guys will be watching from a distance. Alright, that first one was just kind of a test to make sure nothing bad would happen, at least that I could tell right away. So, let's see how high this thing can really go. Well, I didn't realize that one of my chain hooks had come undone as soon as I started the lift, but we still got it up and down safe. And the best part is, I wasn't all the way up. I just didn't want to go any higher with it being partially unhooked. So let's call that a successful proof of concept. I think this thing's going to work great. One last thing before we wrap it up here. I've got my mast kind of laid out to how I want it. I've got 16 inches of backward reach, I guess you could call it. So when we weld it down there, we're going to make a plate for it, probably out of 3/4 inch or whatever's the heaviest that we can find. So we will weld it up front vertically, weld this outrigger thing on it, and then I'll have my pulleys here and here, so that way instead of just like putting a big strain on this pole when it lifts the box, instead of that, it'll lift it a lot more in an arc. So that's the hope anyway. Well guys, I think we can call that a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.